By now, I'm sure we have all heard of Newcastle's £300 million takeover at the hands of Saudi Arabia. Their owner is worth 320 billion with a B, pounds. To put that into context, second place is Manchester City. Their owners are worth 23.2 billion pounds. That is ridiculous. Newcastle fans have been parading through the streets, and we're going to make a video today on that takeover, but I'm putting a sick and twisted spin on it. This is the Newcastle United £320 million takeover challenge, but Steve Bruce is still the manager. Here he comes, lads. Steve Bruce, he's lost some weight, but he's still got the tracksuit top on. But to make things even more difficult, even more sadistic, Steve Bruce is the manager, and we are only allowed to sign players from clubs that Steve Bruce either played for or formerly managed. I'm so excited to have £300 million and only spend money on players like Fraser Campbell. For context, the clubs that we can sign players from are Gillingham, Norwich City, Manchester United, Birmingham City, Sheffield United, Huddersfield Town, Wigan Athletic, Crystal Palace, Birmingham City, Sunderland, Hull City, Aston Villa, Sheffield Wednesday, or Newcastle United. I knew Steve Bruce has been around, but oh my god, I did not realize he's had that many clubs. This man truly is the definition of Brexit means Brexit. Also, you can probably see we've got £480 million in our transfer budget. You can only do between 200 and 500, so I'm doing 485, and I'll just make sure I don't go over £320 million spent. But this is the default starting 11 that FIFA 22 has given us here to kick off the season. We're going to have a lot of work to do in this first season, but we need to have an entire starting 11 filled with players that Steve Bruce has managed, the clubs they've managed. Something tells me that I'm going to end up with a full Manchester United starting 11, but I'm not going to allow that to be the case. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to put in a rule on the spot. We are only allowed 3 players from a single club, so we're only allowed 3 players from Newcastle in the starting 11. We're only allowed 3 Man United players, 3 Sheffield Wednesday players, etc, etc. Going in here for Wilfried Zaha, trying to get one player that interests me from Crystal Palace. They're being tough though, Patrick Vieira. Of course, they want to sell Zaha for a decent price. Let's say £33.7 million. They say 36.3. I'll accept that. Of course, I'm trying to sign players, but I'm also trying to get the cash flow going, trying to sell some players as well. Federico Fernandez, the first player out of St. James's Park in the Steve Bruce Saudi Arabian era. He's off to Nice for £3.2 million. Let's go. We got him. The first signing of the Steve Bruce Saudi Arabian era is going to be for Wilfried Zaha, the Ivorian centre forward, joining us here from Crystal Palace for £36.3 million. You'll notice I'm probably going to go for the better players to start things off. Leave the Wigan Athletic types to the end. Dwight Gale, the second player out of the club, off to FC Metz. I have a kind of weird story about Dwight Gale, which you guys might not find interesting at all. It's really not a good story in the slightest. I'm really underselling myself here. But I was in China 2 years ago for the Premier League Asia Trophy. We had a media day and I got to meet a bunch of the Newcastle players, including Dwight Gale. Met him, got a photo, nice guy, whatever. Turns out we were staying in the same hotel as the Newcastle and West Ham United players every single day, morning and night, after I got that photo for the next 3 days. Every time, just about, I used the elevator in the hotel, I ran into Dwight Gale. First time, a little nod, and then it became such an occurrence that I probably looked like the world's biggest stalker. He kept giving me these looks like, oh, you again? I did nothing wrong, but I still get secondhand embarrassment thinking about that. But we have signed a new man in between the sticks here. Emiliano Martinez, the Argentinian goalkeeper, joining us from Aston Villa for £42.4 million. Another player out of the club though, Kieran Clark, maybe the first Irishman to go to the Turkish league as he heads to Besiktas. I was going to say Aiden McGeady might have been, but then I remembered it was Spartak Moscow he went to. And since we have Emiliano Martinez, we no longer require the services of Martin Dubravka, so he is headed to Portugal. This is more like it, lads. Paul Pogba, the type of statement signing that the Magpies were after. Newcastle United signing Paul Pogba for £69.5 million. Also, another random story I want to go off on here. Unfortunately, it's not about Paul Pogba. I've never met the bloke. Would love to though. Nate Patrick, shout out his parents who met him on a train. But I just want to say that I'm actually happy that it's Newcastle United getting this takeover. I've been to one Newcastle United game in my life when I was backpacking solo around Europe. Stopped off in Newcastle for a day in between Glasgow and Liverpool to watch Newcastle versus Burnley. A boring 0-0 draw, but the people of Newcastle were so damn nice. I remember I was sitting in the bar pre-game, like the pub that's underneath St. James's Park, just sitting there by myself having a few beers before the game, just taking in the sights and whatever. And this family, this group of like 4 people, like a family, like a father, son, then their 2 friends, I think it was, came up and like sat with me and were like having beers and talking and all this stuff. The son ended up being a subscriber to the channel, so if you're watching, shout out you and your old man, absolute legends. But the hospitality of the Newcastle fans was so nice, and I'm hoping that Newcastle United absolutely kill it with his financial takeover. Jeff Hendrick, the latest player out of the club though. Hendrick is off to Brighton and Hove Albion for just under 4 mil. It's departures galore here at Newcastle United. Matt Ritchie, the latest player out of the club, and it is our second Manchester United signing, Alex Telles, joining us here for £33.2 million to play left back. I had to do it, lads. I had to do it. It's only a drop in the ocean, but we have spent £550,000 to bring Fraser Campbell to Newcastle United, reunited with his father, Steve Bruce. £550,000 paid to Huddersfield. I wanted to show love to these lesser sides. I mean, I could go ahead the whole video and just sign Man United, Crystal Palace, Norwich, like Premier League players, Aston Villa players. But where's the fun in that? We've got ourselves a Huddersfield player, and now we have ourselves a Birmingham City player as Riley McGree, the Australian midfielder, Scorpion King Kid himself, the Scorpion Kick King, has signed here at Newcastle United for 3.7 mil. Riley McGree's Scorpion Kick in the A-League should have won the Pushgas that year, and there is no denying that. He was robbed, goddammit! Mark Gillespie, the latest player out of the club as well. No idea who he is, but good luck, brother. Another big-time addition to the right-hand side of the midfield, Leon Bailey. He's only just signed with Villa in real life, but we have snatched him away. He's seen the money, and he's coming up north to Newcastle United. We signed the Jamaican midfielder for £54.1 million from Aston Villa. So far we have 2 players from Villa, 2 players from Man United, 1 Palace, 1 Birmingham, and 1 Huddersfield. It is all happening in the past day, however, as Jacob Murphy goes to Brighton, Ryan Fraser goes to Hellas Verona, John Joe Shelby goes to Hogwarts, Club Brugge, and we have officially made a new right back signing as Max Aarons is the first Norwich player into the club as he signs for £12.4 million. I had to do it again, lads. There's just certain players that keep popping up that I'm so interested in signing, but we have gone to our rivals, we have gone to Sunderland, but we've stolen one of their iconic players as Aidan McGeady joins us here for £560,000. Ryan Longman also into the club, our first and probably only Hull City signing. Steve Bruce, investing in the future. Strong thinking. I mean, I don't think Newcastle will have to really worry about and focusing on the future and investing in their youth academy for much longer, given they'll probably just be able to buy any player they want. But it's the thought that counts. Another big money player departure though, as Paul Dummett is out of the club, just under £3 million to head to Cagliari. But it is our third and final Manchester United signing of the Steve Bruce Saudi Arabian era, as Edinson Cavani is going to join us here as our new star striker for £22.8 million. Also, let me know in the comment section down below who you think Newcastle's first signings in this new money era should be. I've heard some rumours that they want to go in for Philippe Coutinho. I've heard people suggesting they should go get Van de Beek. Let me know who you think Newcastle United should be signing in real life, because at this point, anybody will do to help them survive relegation. It would be so ironic if they ended up in the championship after getting this cash injection. Let's go, lads. It only feels right. Tim Krul, I would say he's a bit of a modern era legend of Newcastle United, been there for so long, obviously in Norwich in real life, but we are going to bring Tim Krul back to St. James's Park, using our money for the right reasons. Welcome back, brother. Also, if he was still a playing player, like a non-retired player, Jonas Gutierrez would be a player I'd go in for right away. So given we were started with like, let's say 320 million pounds, we've spent 280 million on players, which means we would have 40 million remaining, but we've also sold a lot of talent. I'm going to go do some quick math and figure how much money we still have to go. Oh, I can just see right there, total earned this season. So we've made 48.7 million pounds worth of player sales, and we've spent 280 million. So that's about, let's say, oh my god, I finished school a few years ago and I've forgotten how to do basic math. This is so bad. It's about 232 million pounds in transfers, like overall. So let's say we've got 90 million pounds more to spend, which is actually a little bit more than I expected, to be honest. Javier Manquillo also out of the club, off to Club Bruges. I am still so upset that Fulham weren't able to get this man in real life, but it is going to be Joachim Andersen as our latest addition to the back line, our second Crystal Palace player as well. Joachim Andersen, one of the most underrated ballers. His value's gone down, god damn it, but we signed him for 18.4 million pounds from Crystal Palace. First game of the Premier League season though, this is really going to show us what we're made of, and it's the Australian former A-League referee JarradHD refereeing it, but let's see if we can take down West Ham United here on the opening day of the Premier League season. We do! It's a 2-1 win. The new era is off to a good start. I believe this uses up our third and final Aston Villa slot in the squad, but it is going to be Douglas Luiz, the Brazilian defensive midfielder, joining us here for 23.1 million pounds. Max Power. He's the man whose name you'd love to touch, but you mustn't touch. God, I hope some of you guys get that reference. Sander Berge, another defensive midfielder, really going to have some battles in the midfield there. I balled out. I spent a lot of money on Paul Pogba, and now it's between Berge, Douglas Luiz, even Joe Willock, and Almiron and all these guys to fight it out. Isaac Hayden as well to fight it out, but I'd rather have competition in the side. Sander Berge, welcome to the team. I think that's our first Sheffield United signing as well. What a transfer window. This is only a sign of things to come for Newcastle United in real life, potentially. Oh my god, so many players. Let's just go look at this starting 11. The thing is, like, our squad is super strong in certain areas and then super weak in others. I'm hoping players like Anderson, Aarons, Douglas, all these guys kind of improve a little bit. We got what? In the starting 11, we got Manchester United, Crystal Palace, Manchester United, Newcastle United, Manchester United, Newcastle United, Villa, Palace, Villa, Norwich. The bench, you've got a mix between them all, and then the reserves. I mean, our reserves is looking pretty strong in terms of adding McGeady, McGree, Campbell, these guys is only going to make the reserves look even better. But let's go and see if the Steve Bruce Newcastle United side can make magic happen. Let's see if the Saudi Arabian takeover gets the Magpies their first ever Premier League title. Wait, that's a lie. Have Newcastle won the Premier League? Wait, no, I'm thinking of Blackburn because of Alan Shearer. I don't know, I'm talking bollocks now. Let's just go see the result. Round of 16 of the FA Cup. We won the Carabao Cup. Let's go, Newcastle United, get some silverware. 3-0 over Man City. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. But 8th in the Premier League. Moral of the story, Steve Bruce might be the man for the job. Just give him a lot of money. But in reality, Newcastle, go get a better manager.